trapped the queen. Class A player. Russian, I think. Yeah. Fianchetto. I like to give them back what they give me when they do the fianchetto, because they think it's special and it's, and it's their special thing. So I like to just do it straight back at them. I don't like the fianchetto. I don't like people that do the fianchetto without a reason. So to use it just as an opening is exactly that. It annoys me. And now, well, he's trying to try and dominate the light squares here, moving that other pawn onto a black square. So I bring out another piece, and he brings the knight across to here. He doesn't want to take the pressure off with that bishop in case I move the pawn. If he brought the knight here, I could do that, and then his knight is kind of pinned, right? So when I say do that, after moving maybe another pawn forward or something. But anyways, that's why the knight comes to that square. He doesn't want to put the knight on a square where it could potentially be pinned. Now he attacks my e4 square. So I'm actually relatively closed up and he's relatively advanced. I know I've got a pawn further forward than him, but he's the one really pushing actually here. It's very aggressive. So just get this bishop out, just stripping it out, ready to defend the pawn in front of that will end up in front of my king once I am castled. And now he does yet another dark square move with pawns, clearly deciding that he's going to play all on the light squares. Very odd. So I bring my knight over here to just add some extra force to this area where my king is going to castle. I can't castle queenside, it's just too open. And now this, finally he pushes forward with his pike there, and as you see, he's left all the white squares clear, and I've got my pawns on the white squares. I can't see this going anywhere until it cracks open. I decided to have an early go at it because that d4 square is not defended at all by him, and just, grab that and then have that nice bishop focusing on that knight there. He doesn't want me to take it, but now he has pinned the knight, the very thing he kind of didn't want to do before. So I get ready to castle because I can see that with eyeing that square, we could be in slight danger. And now he does this rook move, just protecting his bishop so that he can free up that knight. That signals me that he wants to move that knight. I should just say that the other reason for my bishop move, taking that pawn, was because it not only it covers the other knight, the knight in front of his queen, it covers all the squares it can advance to and simultaneously attacks the other one. So it really is a nice knight blocking move. It's kind of worth the pawn almost. Now he does this, which signals that he wants to move the knight.
Kinside castling.
So I had better castle. He doesn't got any knight forks available or anything. Comes up with this knight. So I could just take that and possibly lose him a bit of tempo, but instead I decide to doubly attack this knight. He takes it, and instead of taking that one, oh no, I did take that one. Don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so I recaptured. Now, is he going to recapture? Is he going to get rid of his fianchetto's bishop? He is. But only because, I think only because he thought that I would definitely take it if he didn't, and he just wanted to have the initiative. But really now his bishop, his remaining bishop's on the wrong colour. And I don't have to recapture straight away. I can grab this knight first, get his queen to there, now recapture. And that's quite nice because I've kind of forced his queen to go to that square. He can actually nick this little pawn here, but I don't think he did. He maybe didn't see that. And still he doesn't. Because what I realised here is that there's a bit of a dodgy situation happening. He can only castle kingside now because he'd moved that queenside rook. And if he castles...
Kinside castling.
We've got this move. He's going to have to try to get his queen to defend that bishop, and this could be tricky for him. Can't attack the knight with the queen because my queen's defending it. So he puts his queen here, but now look, I can attack the queen here. And I didn't realise how good a move this is. Although he has squares he can run to, they are no good. And I'll show you. He can not run here for the knight. He cannot run here for the pawn or the knight. He cannot run here. So all the black squares are out. As far as white squares are concerned, he's got this one. Okay. He's got this one. He's got this one. He's got this one. All those squares except this one where I just take him. All the other ones, this one,
Check.
loses the queen. This one,
Check.
loses the queen. This one, that's the other one that I can just take him on. So this was a really good move and I didn't realise how good. So I couldn't understand why he took the knight, but that's why he had to get something back for it. And now this Class A player is in deep doo-doo. You got to keep your game up when you're playing against a Class A player that you've just won his queen. He is going to fight tooth and nail to get it back. So the first thing he does is he tries to just attack something weak. And I defend it with the queen. Not the rook. Why don't I defend it with the rook? Well, don't know. I liked the idea of leaving the rook where it was. I don't know why. I think because I like the rook on the end and then make a chain in front of it. It might have been better to have moved the rook because after all, we want our rooks on light-coloured squares away from that bishop's grasp. So chases the queen. Queen comes back to here. He continues. We know what he's going to do next. He's kind of saying, I'm going to push, push, push. So now I do finally capitulate to that idea. And I've made him advance his pawns, which is a good thing because it makes the back rank of his side a little bit more accessible to me. Now I try to force an exchange of rooks, or at least encourage an exchange of rooks. He really doesn't want to be down any material at all at this point in the game. He's got the bare minimum to try and win the game with. Any material, any pieces I trade off now is going to give me massive advantages. And now I can just start to get pawns ready to defend here, to cut down the number of squares his bishop can move to. It can't really go anywhere much at the moment. So he's going to use the bishop as a way to get his pawns through, and he's also going for a queen here, perhaps. And I can just blockade it, because now I'm in the right colour of square, I'm on the white squares. Can't attack with the bishop. If he attacks with the rook, well, then we just exchange rooks, and as I say, the material goes down, so that's no good. So that blockade is very good, very effective. Now, but he's setting up for a pawn fork, and that's not so good. So he can have a pawn exchange, and this will win him a pawn on the second rank. If I take it back,
check.
He wins that with check, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I can go here. Not much he can do with me there. Lines up with the queen, but that's fine because there's no way he can really get onto her. And now I'm coming here, the idea being that I can sort of force an exchange of rook, or at least encourage it, drives him to the back rank. And now I can advance this pawn just to get it out of the way of that lot, so that he can't snap it up later after any exchanges. And of course, pushing pawns is always a good idea. And now I take the big move. I take the big move, the big chance, which is just to attack his rook there with check, but with a check, and also attacking that pawn. He comes here, so he's not saving the pawn. He is just getting the rook out of line. Can't give a check now, can I? So I come back to here. And he puts the rook down here now, so he came through the empty files quite skillfully there. However, even if I just have one rook sitting there on my second rank, he can't really come at me. So I just grab this pawn now, and this opens things up in a bad way. In fact, this has got my queen onto the perfect rank. for giving that nice diagonal check of his king if his king tries to run. So he comes to here. Again, it's no use at all. Even, as long as I've got something there on the second rank, some rook, I will be able to deal with that. He cannot get his bishop down there. I suppose his long-term plan might be to try and get his bishop down right behind and next to that, but
check,
it's going to be too little too late. I've got this move here, still eyeballing that lovely diagonal white, which I'm now going to pounce onto. And if he doesn't want checkmate on the back rank, he's going to have to block with this, and after I take the bishop, he is resigning. That's it. This one is over. So that was just a really wonderful little queen trap. Not the usual kind of queen trap where you get someone who's far too overconfident and you get their queen that way, but this one was a really delicate queen trap, and a very, very beautiful little queen trap that I did not fully see, and he certainly didn't.